A very warm welcome. Let's talk Nikita Mazepin. And once again, in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. This guy is already hated, and he's just making it even worse with his defensive driving on track. There is Haas tensions between Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Schumacher doesn't trust that he can go racing with Mazepin, and it looks like Mazepin always wants to be ahead. Mazepin's defending yesterday is like he's playing the F1 game. It's dangerous, it's stupid, and how the stewards are not investigating this is criminal at the highest level. You can see it on the picture that Mazepin basically put Schumacher in the pit lane. Schumacher had to back out. Now I'm not sure if they touched in this moment because Mick Schumacher had to change his wing. So yeah. It all started in qualifying. The team choose who goes first in qualifying. So Mick Schumacher would have had it at Belgium. It looks like it was Mazepin's turn to go in Zandvoort. Mick Schumacher overtook him and disobeyed the team protocol. Mazepin was very angry about this, but he should have got over that heading into the race. But this is unforgivable driving. This is like defending online on an F1 game. It's shocking. And how the stewards are not looking at this. I mean, you don't want to get on Mazepin's back. I mean, you want to judge him for his driving on track, but this is a joke. And we've seen this before in F2 at Bahrain. So he's clearly not going to learn. He's going to cause an aeroplane crash. This is dangerous. This should have been checked by the stewards. And once again, it goes under the carpet. It's been a cautious and a fractious Dutch Grand Prix between the Haas boys. Mazepin and Mick Schumacher at odds. Started in qualifying and then into the race. Now they have Gunther Steiner as their team principal, a guy you would not want to mess with at the best of times. Qualifying, Mazepin and Schumacher squabbling over position, and then they both blocked Sebastian Vettel. So they didn't get a penalty for that, and they didn't even investigate this incident in the race. So yeah, it looks like Mazepin should have gone first in qualifying. Schumacher jumped ahead of him. And the Haas duo were at it again at the end of the first lap on the Dutch Grand Prix. Mazepin, who passed Schumacher on lap 1 into turn 8. Schumacher, he got like his front tyre alongside the rear tyre. Mazepin chopped him. Very aggressive. Almost pushed him in the pit lane. And it's madness. They've got the worst car on the grid, yet they want to bang wheels and crash. I mean, look what Mazepin did the first race at Bahrain where he spun. There's no point getting involved in silly incidents when you got the worst car on the grid, because they're never scoring points, so they need to get the mileage to improve. Mick Schumacher very critical of Mazepin. I think obviously again there was a little coming together with my teammate for some reason which I don't understand, but I think it's obvious. It seems he is that way. It just seems he's got this thing in his head where he wants to be in front at any cost. I have nothing against it, but when he's trying to push me in the pit lane, that's too much. Yeah. Mazepin was later forced to retire from the race with a hydraulic issue, as Mick Schumacher finished P17, had to change his front wing, and it was basically a test session. Mazepin said, "I am upset as well. My job is to drive, and I feel like I'm not driving enough the last few weekends. Luckily, I don't feel at fault for it, which is one thing to keep your mind, but I was having a good race. I had a very good opening lap." Gunther Steiner. Now, he is not a guy you want to annoy. Yeah, you just don't want to annoy him. Remember Grosjean? "You two fucking idiots. You want to do this? You can stay at home. I don't fucking need you." Just brutal. Obviously, we had the contact between the two at the beginning of the race. We all sat down afterwards, and my aim now is to work on it and will sort these problems in the future. I'm staggered. I'm absolutely staggered that once again Mazepin defending like a madman, defending like he's playing the F1 game online. What is wrong with this guy? Now I don't want to be on Mazepin's back, but this is a huge talking point of the weekend. Of course, Max gets all the headlines, but once again, this is the worst car on the grid. I mean, this was unnecessary by Mazepin, but I think that's quite accurate by Mick Schumacher. Mazepin wants to stay ahead at all costs, and I think he was still angry from qualifying, and he brought that mindset into the race. Now, we all know what happened in the off-season, but you got to judge Mazepin for on-track performances. But again, he's got history for this. Look at the F2 race in Bahrain, pushing drivers off the circuit, and now he's doing it in Formula 1. This is going to cause a big accident if it's not addressed. Now, most people will say Mazepin's the worst driver ever, he shouldn't be on the grid, but he's going to remain on the grid because of this sponsor on the halo here, Uralkali. He brings a financial backing. His dad's like a Russian billionaire, so I don't see Mazepin going anywhere. But this was shown on the world feed as well. It was shown on TV, and at the time I wasn't happy about it because Haas don't get much coverage on TV, and I was like, well, they're actually showing a Haas battle here, and Mazepin completely chops Mick Schumacher. Now, was there contact? And that's the reason Mick had to change his front wing. Because Mazepin came to the inside, Mick tried to go around the outside. Just very unnecessary. There's tension between these two. Mazepin is going to keep his drive because he brings a financial backing. And they're not going to get rid of Schumacher because of the name. These two need sitting down and bang their heads together. Schumacher looks like he disobeyed on Saturday, and Mazepin's driving like a madman defending. Honestly, it's like he's playing the F1 game. Like when you play on the F1 game, this is how people defend. But this is real life. This is 200 mile an hour. Nikita Mazepin. He doesn't help himself, does he? I mean, he's already the most hated driver, and now he's doing stupid things like this. There's no defending this. There is no defending this. The image speaks for itself. Mazepin has got to give people room. And as you can see on the photo, Schumacher does not have enough room there, and he had to back out. Yeah. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. This is not a witch campaign against Mazepin, but he's not helping himself, is he? You got to talk about these incidents because this is dangerous, absolutely dangerous. And for the stewards not to investigate this is a disgrace. And I don't trust the people in charge of this great sport. Look at Spa, for example. They send the drivers out in worse conditions, and then both Haases don't get a penalty for blocking Vettel, and now they don't even investigate this incident here. Staggering. I don't know what they do in that steward's room when they're watching the race. Nikita. Comment down below your thoughts. Once again, Mazepin in the headlines for the wrong reasons.